What's up, guys? I'm John, writer of the blog Sports by John on Blogger, here with my thoughts on the latest steroid scandal in Major League Baseball involving Biogenesis. So basically, what's going on is the Major League Baseball has gotten Anthony Bosch, who is the was the director of the Biogenesis Clinic, to cooperate with their investigation into his supplying of PEDs to Major League players. And reportedly, Major League Baseball has a list of 20 to 30 guys that are going to be suspended, including Alex Rodriguez, Ryan Braun, Nelson Cruz, among others, in connection with Bosch. And in return for his cooperation, Major League Baseball is going to tell legal authorities that Bosch cooperated in hopes that he gets a lighter punishment for the crimes that he committed. But I think with Major League Baseball, there is a larger problem here in that after the Mitchell report, we thought that we had drained steroids out of Major League Baseball. We were home free. That clearly wasn't the case. There were many players suspended after the Mitchell report came out and continued to dope and do other things. And it doesn't matter what the World Anti-Doping Agency does, what Major League Baseball does for testing, NFL, and any sport. The problem that we're facing is that science of creating the drugs is always going to be one step ahead of the science detecting the drugs, which is really tough for organizations like WADA and other anti-doping organizations. So I think that Major League Baseball needs to come down hard on the players that are doping in a way to say this is not okay. I think we all know that, but we haven't seen anything that tells us that it's not okay. You know, Rafael Palmeiro tested positive for a banned substance in 2005, was suspended 10 games. And that is not going to cut it, obviously, anymore. Major League Baseball says 50 games your first offense, 100 games your second offense, third offense, lifetime bans. We've seen many players, Carlos Ruiz, Manny Ramirez, Guillermo Mota, among others, get that 50-game suspension, and then you have guys like Manny Ramirez who then try to beat the system. When he was with the Rays, he received a 100-game suspension for taking female pregnancy pills, which why he needs female pregnancy pills, I will never know. But he then decided that he was going to retire, and when he tried to come back into baseball with the Oakland A's the following season, he talked Major League Baseball out of the 100-game suspension and only received a 50-game suspension. So I think Major League Baseball needs to stop being soft on this policy. Yes, you know, Manny Ramirez is the exception to the rule. Guillermo Mota is currently serving a 100-game suspension. But, you know, with a mass like this where you've got 20 guys, it's kind of like the Mitchell Report 2.0, and 10-game suspensions obviously are not going to cut it for this. You know, they're reporting that everybody's going to receive a 100-game suspension, which I agree with to an extent. You know, I do think that you can hand out 50-game suspensions to certain players, but to players who even haven't been suspended before for performance-enhancing drugs, but have always been tied to them, players like Alex Rodriguez and Ryan Braun, you have to hit those guys hard, especially because they are the face of Major League Baseball and this power hitting, putting up incredible numbers that is associated with performance enhancing drugs. Whether Major League Baseball does that or not remains to be seen, but I think once again, like with the Mitchell report, Major League Baseball has a fantastic opportunity here to send a message that performance enhancing drugs are not okay in America's pastime, and they need to hit most of these guys, if not all of these guys, very hard to make an example out of them. Maybe if Alex Rodriguez, you find out that he lied or something, ban him for life. He's already screwed the Yankees over. He's already owed $29 million this year. He signed a $275 million contract and hasn't played at all. The Yankees are spending more money on him than five other major league teams are spending on their active 25-man roster. And unfortunately, the Yankees aren't going to be able to get any of that money back. Now, I don't feel bad for them. They made that decision on their own. That's not my problem, any team's problem. They have to suffer those consequences. I don't think Major League Baseball should reimburse them that money because they made that decision. But I do think that we need to come down very hard on these players to send a message that this is not okay. And, we all think that this is going to solve the problem. It's not going to solve the problem. Let's face it, it is not going to solve the problem because, as I said before, the science in creating the drugs is always a step ahead of the science detecting the drugs. So it's not going to solve the problem, but it's going to create a very firm message from Major League Baseball to its players that if it wasn't clear before, you cannot be participating in these activities, and it will start to shrink the amount of cheating that takes place in baseball. And I think it's a step in the right direction, and that's all you can ask Major League Baseball to do is start moving in the right direction to solve this problem. So that's where I stand. I want to know where you guys stand. Feel free to tweet me on Twitter at SportsFanatic27. Leave comments below, whatever you want to do. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you next time.